I know from the Vatican files that there were human sacrifices here, in order to see if their souls were good or evil. The same sort of idea as witch-burning. Mordred wrote that a soul could leave the mirror if its shade was already bound here, which is exactly the case here now. So, if Adrian were to die here, then Mordred would win. Adrian's soul would have been freed from eternity, and his body would take on Mordred's soul. But we have to get Mordred's soul shade out of Adrian one way or another. We absolutely have to make sure Mordred's actual soul can't leave the mirror. And Adrian's soul has to stay where it is.
Sounds right.
Adrian's reflection is a mix of his own soul and Mordred's soul shade. I don't have any better way of describing it. There's absolutely no way Adrian's soul can be allowed to lose the struggle against Mordred's shade. But what is on the other side? Only Mordred's soul? Or has Adrian got one of those soul shades as well? Adrian, can you read me this section about the shades from the Book of the Guardians, please?
The ancients' graves are watched over by their shades. Their fate has been thus for thousands of years now, with no end ever envisaged. They were born in death, and it is death they wish to spread. The ancients forced them into our world. Thus, they don't belong here. They can be neither caught nor appeased. However, the light from the green flame unsettles them. It drives them into the darkness. One should not come too close to them there. Their power is old, very old.
A shade is created in every case when somebody dies, but not in this world, but behind the mirror. It feels like this cavern has been here since the dawn of time. I don't know who or what they're supposed to represent. They're really imposing.
That's what it is then. The Black Mirror, the Shade Portal. There's such an extraordinary attraction coming from it. I've got a persistent urge to look into it. I'm able to see in my mind everything that happened on this altar. Having Mordred in my head works as any horror. I don't feel any revulsion. None at all. If Valentina doesn't come up with something soon, he's won. No, I have to pull myself together, or else all of our efforts are going to be in vain. It goes one heck of a long way down. I can't see the bottom. Those are the same statues as in the room with the scales.
Adrian, have another look in Mordred's book. Maybe there's more there now.
I did not want him to die. I wanted to save him from his wretched fate. I wanted to make him my son again. My son. No bastard from the loins of my cursed brother. I have kept to the ritual exactly. Everything has worked well, only I was unable to bring a beat back to his heart. I tried everything, all in vain. From now on, I am quite alone. There is no one whom I can initiate. Marcus has taken everything from me, and now I shall take everything from him. I must make haste. My sword. First, I have to conclude the experiment with it. It appears that I have created a shade for it. That could mean that I can use it on the other side. If I succeed in crossing to the other side without dying, then I will Rule both sides. Strange as the black stain on the blade. Since its contact with the other side, the black is spreading inexorably. Rituals, experiments with a sword. What the hell was Mordred doing here?
It sounds like he was trying out an ancient druidic soul transfer ritual on his own son.
A soul transfer? He simply murdered him.
Does it give the procedure for the ritual in the book by any chance?
No.
I could give Adrian something to really slow his heartbeat down, like a poison. Then, that would have to free Mordred's soul from Adrian's body. But then, Adrian's soul would be freed as well, and he'd die. It could be possible to resuscitate him with adrenaline. I will only have to give him a small shot into a vein soon after. At that time, Mordred wasn't in a position to do that. Nobody knew about adrenaline back then. Today, it's possible. It's dangerous for sure, but it's the only possibility I can see right now. I'd better not say anything about it to Adrian, for now. Adrian's shade needs a weapon to conquer Mordred. But I'm afraid that an ordinary blade isn't going to do the job. Mordred's already dead. And you can't pass a weapon through the mirror just like that. Wait. Adrian, what was that just now in Mordred's book about his sword?
It says, strange as the black stain on the blade, since its contact with the other side, the black is spreading inexorably. And here, it appears that I have created a shade for it. That could mean that I can use it on the other side.
That's it. We need Mordred's sword.
Can't be all that difficult. Find a sword with a black stain.
That was the White Lady's grave. Maria's grave.
How do you know that?
That's a female skeleton. And you can see the sword tip in a ribcage. It broke off when Mordred murdered his wife.
You're right.
Mordred's remains. According to Mordred, he used the bones of the dead to bring their shades into this world and then keep them here. So, we could lure Mordred's shade out of Adrian by using his bones, just like he once did with that king. Adrian, we need Mordred's bones for the ritual. Can you do that?
Yeah? In one piece?
Just remember how they all go together, and then lay them on the altar in the same layout. Okay, I think I know how we're going to do this.
I can't wait.
Right. The Black Mirror seems to be a portal into another world, a kind of shade world. If a human dies anywhere near the portal, then a shade is born on the other side of the mirror. At the same time, there are two possibilities for that person's soul. If they were of pure heart, their soul shade remains behind the Black Mirror, and their soul
flies shade free up to heaven?
It's free, yes, but if that person was evil, then their soul is sucked from their shade into the mirror.
And then?
It's trapped. The souls in the mirror are slaves to the shades. They can become their instruments to be exploited.
Oh, that means that the shades are only evil if their soul was too.
Marcus was supposed to have battled his way through an army of shades before he killed his brother. Mordred has found out how to bring shades through the portal.
Okay, but Mordred's shade is already out. You can see that clearly from my reflection.
Correct. Therefore, his soul is more or less defenseless and alone behind the mirror, and is just waiting until it can come through.
And that might happen if I touch the mirror. Is that it?
We don't want to find out. Therefore, we can bind Mordred's shade to his mortal remains. Doing that stops the shade from getting in our way at least. And then your shade, Adrian, can take over Mordred's soul. Or even better, destroy it.
My shade? I thought a shade only comes into being when somebody dies.
You do have to die.
Okay. And why didn't you let me jump from the roof then? That would have been more comfortable.
Then you would be irretrievably dead. Adrian, I will resuscitate you. If your body shuts down for a few minutes, your soul will... How can I say this? Be free. I know there are plenty of near-death experience reports, which confirm this. A soul shade will generate simultaneously on the other side of the mirror.
Won't that cause some kind of brain damage?
Don't worry, Adrian. The human brain can get by for a few minutes without a heartbeat. Your soul will return to your body just as soon as you have a heartbeat again. It's not the first time I've come across this. Near-death experiences are usually what has happened when people believe that God has spoken to them.
Okay, and then? Is my soul shade supposed to strangle Mordred?
No. We know that Mordred has made the sword usable on the other side. To put it better, the soul-like mirror reflection. You'll take it to the other side and be able to kill Mordred's soul with it. Shades are stronger there than they are here.
Have I got this right? Souls are strong here, and the soul shades are weak?
Exactly, and the other way around too. Which means that Mordred's soul is very weak on the other side.
Well, that sounds like there's some absurd logic to it. And what's the story with Mordred's shade then?
We'll keep it outside the mirror using the bones, so that it can't cross over to defend his soul. After that, the same thing ought to happen to the shade that happens to a soul when the body dies.
It'll go back into the mirror.
But there would still be a problem.
Yeah?
You need Mordred's sword, and apart from the broken tip. I don't know where that is.
In the book, there was something about a blackness that came out from the sword, spreading itself even further.
Of course. That's why Greg and Steve had problems with that. The tea room, the fungus... There was a constant problem there with the damage, apparently, coming from the extinguishing water after the fire.
Then the sword has to be there. I'll go and get it.
Stop. You're not going to lay a hand on any kind of sword, and especially not one of Mordred's. I'll get it. I need to get the book from the library anyway. One about poisons. These down here are somewhat out of date.
And what am I supposed to do in the meantime?
You could lay out Mordred's skeleton on the altar. See you soon.